In this video, I want to quickly walk you through how I attach the back piece to the base of my shoe. So what I'm doing right now is just sort of eyeballing where the piece will attach. I think it would have been best had I have actually transferred the marks from my smaller pattern to my large pattern. Through this process, I actually ended up making this a little bit crooked, and when I go to apply the front of my shoe, it actually has a little extra tension. This is the front of my shoe, and I'm just making sure that I have enough room to work with. So that was like walking the pattern along, truing up the form, and making sure there was a little overlap. So here is where I wished that I had actually left a bit more of a channel when I when I placed the base of that shoe onto the inside of that band that goes around. I wish I would have had just like 1/4 of an inch more of that sticking up, because that would have really helped to hold my back of my shoe in place. So what I'm doing here is just crushing the cardboard a little bit. Since it's corrugated, I can push it down so that I get just a tiny little ledge, and I've put a tiny bead of glue along that ledge, and I'm sliding the back of the shoe up against that. And again, this is maybe just like 1/8 of an inch, but 1/4 would have been great. 3/8 might have even been better. So in hindsight, I would have done that differently. You want to make sure that because it's such a small seam, that you're really making sure the glue is stable before you release your compression of it. So I'm probably holding each one of these seams about 15 to maybe even 20 seconds. It seems much faster in this sped up video, but you do need to kind of go slow and steady. And you can also see I'm only working on small sections at a time. I did not put glue around the whole shoe base. I'm maybe working at 2 or 3 inches at a time, just what I can kind of handle to hold and push and compress. So I'm continuing my way around, little beads of glue. Holding steady and just being patient. I'm doing this process because I did not include seam allowances or extra little tabs on the base of my pattern piece. If you have tabs, then you can assemble it in a slightly different manner. And when I go to put the front of this shoe on, I actually re-add some seam allowance onto it because it's going to be too difficult for me to get all of it assembled in this same method. So right along the edge there, I noticed that I was having a little bit of a gap. So something was a little off on that pattern piece. And I held it in place and then later came back and realized that it had separated. So when you have to re-glue a seam, it's best if you actually can cut out the old glue before you put in more glue. That's going to help sort of create a much stronger bond. If you can get back to the original material, the cardboard, and adhere the cardboard to the cardboard versus trying to glue glue back together with glue. And then I just made sure that I held this for a really nice long time, and the second time it held. So in the next video, I will show you how to attach the toe box.